People are saying we are seeing JK scared and potentially in pain. People are talking about how an alleged stalker seemingly was trying to target Jimin and JK, as well as someone apparently maybe calling Jimin overweight. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Let's get into it. If you have not heard the news, then definitely we need to share and talk about it today, as BTS recently had their first live stream together in a very long time, I think over 2 years. This is obviously a very huge moment, and it looked a little bit weird when I saw it because I was like, wow, there are so many people in this live stream. But then I realized that's what we used to get all the time before they had to go to the military. So this was definitely such a pleasant and amazing surprise. Now, if you don't know, subtitles typically come out a day or two after the stream. This time it came out relatively quickly, and there was subtitles happening really quickly. I don't recall them being subtitled live, but maybe I just didn't get the update or whatever. But I think sometimes as things were happening, some people knew what was going on, and I don't know if they necessarily were Korean. However, some clips got reposted onto social media, and some of those clips started to go viral and be talked about. One of them being none other than Jimin and his weight, as literally within the first 10 seconds of the stream, Jimin talked about how they're getting ready for a comeback and he needs to try to get a thumbnail picture. And he said that he sees himself as a little bit overweight, and he talks about needing to lose weight now, I guess, for the comeback. There's a lot of ongoing debates as to whether or not Jimin has some sort of eating disorder or something like that due to him always talking about needing to lose weight or just talking about his weight in general. Now, the difference between American culture and Korean culture, or just American and Asian culture, is the topic of weight is not really seen as taboo in Asian culture. Unless you're someone who is chronically overweight and unhealthy, typically for Asian people, the idea of weight is not something that is really sensitive. Again, if you are unhealthy, so just being overweight doesn't mean that you're unhealthy. It's obviously very different now in Asian culture, because a little while ago in Asian culture, being called overweight or bigger was actually a sign of wealth and being well fed, because a lot of Asian people didn't have a lot of money back then. So being seen as overweight was definitely being seen as eating well. I imagine that's why the Buddha is a little bit overweight, but that's just a thought. I don't actually know if that's true. Now, another argument that I can make to prove that perhaps he doesn't, Jimin, have an eating disorder is simply just the fact that every time there is a comeback, he talks about needing to lose weight. Meaning, if they weren't coming back, or even just prior to the comeback, Jimin's eating fine. He's eating as healthy and as normally as he would, and he's only doing the weight loss journey for the comeback. Now, can you have sporadic eating problems or eat very irregularly because you're on a schedule, and then when you're off schedule, you're binging? That can totally happen too, and that is a problem as well. And we don't really know exactly which side Jimin falls with that. And he might be in between, as in less severe. And there's a lot of concerns about this. I think there's a general concern around needing to lose weight for a comeback. That is something that a lot of people talk about. And at the end of the day, you don't need to lose weight to sing. Now, do you need to lose weight to dance and perform? Yes and no. If you can move and perform with that weight that you would normally have before the comeback, and everything is normal performance-wise, then keep that weight, and that's totally not a problem. But also, if you're dancing and moving as strenuously and vigorously as you might do during a comeback, you're probably going to shed the weight anyway. And of course, saying this, I don't want to discount this thought of the fact that he did look like he gained weight during a comeback, because he looks literally the same. Literally the same. I'm not even saying like, oh, his face is a little bit rounder and he looks healthier, which is supposed to be a compliment, but someone struggling with their weight is just going to read that as they're overweight. I'm not saying any of that stuff. He literally looks the same. The exact same as how I remember him, if not a little bit buffer, because obviously he would be buffer due to coming back from the military. So go show support on their social media platform, send love, definitely tell all of them that they look really beautiful, and especially tell Jimin to not change a thing, because we want him to be happy with how he looks. But this wasn't the only thing that the community was talking about recently, as there was apparent stalking involved, and a lot of people are very concerned about the safety of the boys. Now, I've talked about previously how I don't believe people who go to the airport and see the boys are stalkers, and I've explained my reasoning behind that. But this situation is a little bit different, and no matter how I look at it, I really can't go on the side of there wasn't stalking in this case. It literally seems like there was stalking involved. Recently, JK and Jimin were seen by a lake, and I think it was a lake pool type of thing. I don't know if they were just jumping into a lake, because that's not clean. There was a camera person there also. There was some people that were also there, so it looked like it wasn't just Jimin and JK alone. There obviously was someone there looking like they were recording it, or a team. But there was someone who was seemingly recording Jimin and JK getting into the water that was not part of the team. And a lot of people said from that footage, you could actually hear both Jimin and JK's voices, which shows that they were allegedly not that far away, that they were likely really close to both Jimin and JK. And this is very scary, right? Many are scared just due to the amount of hate that the boys get, that there could be someone throwing rocks at them, punching them, or going near them to hurt them. And we have to be really careful about things like that. Of course, just like anything else, there are several ways of looking at things. While I definitely believe that stalking seems to be involved, the other option we can look into is just one that involves someone passing by and recording the moment. Of course, this is more so just wishful thinking, and if you would prefer to think this to feel more at ease and safe, but I have no idea if someone was trying to stalk the boys, how they would have found out that the boys were going anywhere. Their vans are usually tinted black, and I'm sure the vans have professional drivers who, if they notice the same car following them, would do something about that and would not let the boys out of the car to have this person that's following them catch up to them. So I'd imagine that the driver probably felt like no one was following them, and then they're likely just someone in that area that saw the boys and just hit record. That's my assumption. Again, to me, the footage can also appear like stalking, so I see both sides here. There were some videos and things that people were saying that JK might have to leave the group or leave BTS due to safety concerns, and a lot of people are more so scared about the safety concerns that might impact the rest of the BTS members. However, JK and Jimin are not the sole causes of any safety concerns that go on with the boys. In fact, it's not simply a safety concern with just them two, it's a safety concern that exists with anyone that's famous. And I guess also well liked, because there are definitely people who are famous that most people feel neutral about, like maybe a reporter or someone like that, where people are just kind of like, they know that they're there, but they don't really have that much of an opinion on them, and they're not huge fans of them. Now, it's something that I kind of grazed over a little bit, which is this idea that they might be filming something. So a lot of people were saying that this likely was a scene for Are You Sure Season 2. Could be, definitely could be, but I definitely think it would be interesting for the boys to film a Season 2 of their show, and for them to not film any Run BTS or BTS related content like they normally might do, especially showing that all of the boys are together now and they've had enough time to even form a live stream together, that they would be filming solo content or a subunit content. I feel like that would be less likely, because that ends up not promoting the reunion, but ends up promoting a separation. And from a PR standpoint, optically, I think the PR would consider not doing that maybe, because right now, for my opinion, all of the attention should be on the reunion. So drumming up anything that promotes a reunion so JK can go on a press tour by himself. So it should only be something that is promoting a reunion. So JK can go on a press tour by himself, but the press tour should be promoting the reunion or highlighting the reunion in some way. But in this case, I don't know if having the show is going to help them. But maybe if it's a Season 2, it's something that they both want to do, and if they're doing it, I don't know. So this is all just my opinion. I have no idea what's actually going on. The other thing that I think could be more likely is that they're not doing a Season 2, but that they're giving a long-awaited GCF. Remember those? They were released pretty regularly for quite some time, and there were quite a few episodes with just Jimin and JK in there. Now, of course, the GCFs were usually just one person recording at a time, so you never really saw both Jimin and JK in the same frame unless they were putting the camera down somewhere. But hey, they could have a bigger budget at this point, and maybe they wanted to do something a little bit more well-produced this time around. I hope it is a GCF, because a lot of people have been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that, and I think it will be really cool to see what they put out and how this turns out. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos, linked down below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.